So yeah. that was the closer.
that was like sorry titty twisted time wizard. we don't have one, but
he's gonna twist some titties over that one.
What's going on, YouTube? Dave here.
And Joe.
And we own a retro video game store in Ottawa, Ontario. And today we're going to be talking about...
So we're going to do Ask Me Anything for a retro video game store owner, Reddit edition. So I posted on Reddit kind of, I own a store with a friend of mine. Ask me anything about the store. Because I find on that subreddit, the retro gaming or game collecting, a lot of the store owners they're kind of shady or don't want to divulge like how their business works. Whereas I'm kind of like, let's get a conversation going and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of questions here. So first one here, and I'm gonna try and pronounce their Reddit usernames. So we'll give it a shot. So hidden char, would you prefer brick and mortar versus selling online? And now he specifies selling online as eBay, Facebook, or Amazon. And that's where I kind of like, if I was gonna sell online only, I wouldn't do either of those platforms. I don't like the fees associated with Amazon and eBay. I don't think you get the value add there.
No.
And then Facebook, there's no fees, but you're dealing with like the general public on a.
You're dealing with people.
Yeah, but I'd rather deal with people that have decided to walk into my game store or go to my website that I sell stuff at.
Yeah.
So, because we only sell at our store. We don't have a website, but if we did, I would make my own and sell through that.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, if you're going to sell online, I think you sell through your store. You build up credibility with the store.
For sure.
And then you sell those items there. Although, I mean, I prefer to sell locally. I prefer to keep the games local.
Yeah, same here. That is our preference.
Collectors, that's my preference. But there are games that might sit in the store for a year or two. And if Joe and I ever did start our own website, we would say, okay, this game's been sitting on the shelf for like a year and a half.
And it's like a high-end game.
Let's sell it.
Yeah, let's expand the market, right? Like basically anyone from North America could see it and buy it.
But I wouldn't do that right away.
No, I think even if I had a regular website where everything was available online and in store, I would probably keep it in store only for like a week or two and give our local clients kind of first shot at it.
Yeah, totally.
Before I farmed it out.
Yeah, and like we also say to people, like, when you sell to us, like, we're gonna keep it local.
Yeah.
And a lot of collectors and a lot of people selling like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, if I was gonna get rid of all my stuff, I'd want people around here who I know from being in the hobby for a long time to get the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good question.
Do you want to read all of them?
I can try to. It's just pronouncing their names here. So Sadimem. That could be one. How would you pronounce it?
Sadimem.
Basically, they're asking where we source our inventory, but they specifically ask yard sales, online marketplace, etc. And
totally etc. That's how we get all of our games.
Yeah, etc. Yeah. No, but like I think they're like, when we started out, that's how we got our stuff, right? Like, we were grinding, yard selling.
Very quickly when online. We first started getting stuff. So Joe and I, we did the Kijiji. We did like online stuff, like yard sales. We had, when spring came, like, yard sale season was huge, and we would only do community yard sales.
Yeah.
Right? Because you boom. And I know everyone's like, I always message them and ask if they have video games. To me, that's the worst strategy, because you and like 10 other people are doing the same thing. Yeah. You want to go to a house where there's no listing. Yeah. You're much more likely to find something there.
Oh, yeah. If I see a listing and they're like, we have video games, I don't even go to that one.
It's not worth it.
It's like, And a lot of times they've already like looked up the value, because now that they know video games are worth money.
Totally.
So I think we did that before, but now as a store, we've kind of built up a reputation in the community. So we kind of let the stuff come to us. Yeah. So it's like more larger bulk buys. Like, I know like you and I used to drive across the city to get like a few things, right?
Yeah.
And then
not anymore.
Like, not anymore, no. Like, not leaving my house unless it's like, like thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Basically, like,
which we do, but it's rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Yeah.
And then his second part of the question was, he said, how valuable are smalls to the overall success? And so I clarified with him, and he, like, I said, like, do you mean like low to mid price items? And that's Because I think a lot of people, when they start a store...
He means like Game Boy games and like GBA
games. Yeah, Game Boy and Micros. That's all we sell. I think when you start a store, you always think, oh, I gotta have like the high-end stuff. But that's not the stuff that turns over quickly. So like for me, like I'd much rather have a lot of like $5 to $40 stuff.
Yeah.
Like that is the key to your business, right? Like those are
Totally.
the games you get more of. Those are the games people can afford more regularly and will sell.
Yeah, like collector brain is like, oh man, I'd love to have like Box Adventure for the NES. And then like, you know, once you start to really realize, you're like, no.
Yeah.
You want to have like 5 copies of like Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, and like 10 Super Nintendos instead of
Yes.
like a game that's worth what 10 Super Nintendos are. That
Exactly. Yeah. Tricky Lobster. You want?
Well, that was an easy one to pronounce. Take the easy one.
Luckily, I went for it. I mean, it might have been challenging for you.
Go for it.
After the pandemic, how much of your time is trying to explain to people who think their copy of Mario is worth thousands when it's obviously not? My local game store said it was a lot. I mean, I don't think I haven't had too many encounters where I've had to explain to people, but what I've said to people, when people come in and they're shocked, like Pokemon games is probably the number one place, right? And they want like either a GBA Pokemon game, like Pokemon Emerald, which is over $200 now. And like, they're like, whoa, oh my God. And I kind of do this. I'm like, I know, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. You're like, I feel you.
I feel you, like, and it's true, because I'm just like, I know what the prices are, and I know what I paid for.
Well, we feel it when we have to buy it off someone who knows it's worth $200.
So like, I kind of empathize with them.
Yeah.
Because like, they could come right back at me and be like, oh, why you probably paid $10 for that. Why are you charging $200? And I'd be like, absolutely not. But for me, it's more like, I always tell people, I'm like, pre-pandemic, like these games were like $30-40.
Yeah.
I'm like, post-pandemic, nostalgia kicked into high gear.
Yeah. Well, and I think what happened too is like game grading got big. So like there were like that show on Pawn Stars where they valued the Mario sealed game at like $1 million. The problem is then someone finds like a loose Mario Brothers in their garage and they're like, oh, like that's worth $1 million. Like so there's that famous thing on Pawn Stars where the guy finds the Nintendo. He's like, it's the first Nintendo DS ever made, NES 001. And then, he takes it to the store and the guy's like, it doesn't even power on. It's not worth anything.
No.
So I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 people come ask me about like, oh, what's a sealed this worth? And I'm kind of like, well, in our store, not much, because like we don't want that kind of stuff. But so not too bad. But I get the question because there was a lot of that happening. Like
we get a lot of people that come in the store and they're like, a lot of dads with their young kids are like, oh, I had that when I was a kid, and I had that, and wow, look at how much that is, and then I sold that, and they're like, oh man, I wish I didn't sell my games. Like you get a lot of that. That's like the majority of it. I don't know if I can't think of an experience where someone came in, they're just like, man, your prices are like, I mean, people do that, you know, that happens, but it's not.
No, I don't think it's our prices. I think it's people that think stuff's worth a lot of money, and then they want to come sell it to you. And so they're not, but then they're shocked that your offer's low, and that you're pricing a game below what they think is like the market value. And I'm like, hey man, come buy all my stuff and resell it for more if you think it's worth more.
Stuff doesn't sell.
No, but I'll get the odd person that comes in and they'll buy any sealed game they can find, and we may slap a little bit of a premium if it's sealed just because it's in good condition.
Sure.
But they'll buy it all thinking they're going to go grade it all, and I'm just like, you're not going to make any money off this, but thank you.
Well, and people are grading games now and keeping them in their collections, and I get that. But yeah, if you're going to grade it in the hopes of making money.
Yeah, like the cat's out of the bag on that, and you can find newer, like, because this person bought like newer stuff that was sealed. Like that stuff's always going to be findable. It's not like finding like an old Nintendo shipping container with like 6 games in it.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
Super rare now.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
All right, next one. Want me to pronounce that for you?
Brood.
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 I think it's brood.
Like you roll the R. Brood.
Well, it'll be brood if we're doing it French.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 questions. How has business been? I hear that both the retro craze is starting to die down, and also that it's never been stronger. Would be great to hear from the other side of the counter.
That's a good question.
There's 2 things though. There's how big is the market, and then how big is your share of the market. So I think
can we just pause? That was very well said.
That
was really well said.
No, but it's true. So the retro market might not be as crazy as it was like when you and I were really collecting. It's also kind of changed, right? We've talked about that in another video, but like back in the day, if a store got NES or Super Nintendo or 64 stuff, like collectors were full setting, that's kind of done, but we still do have a few people that do that.
But the full setters, I think they started many, many years ago.
Yes, and so
they're still on that trail. I don't think you get a lot of new full setters.
No, you don't. So, but I would say in our area, the market has it's basically kind of stopped growing like crazy, but I feel like we're increasing our market share like year over year. So as a business, we're still growing because our share of the local business is going up, even though like the total business is about the same or a bit lower.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, you can still make not like we're making a ton of money, but you can still do well in a business that's either stagnated or in decline if you can increase your share of the business. So like you know what I mean? So I still think there's a lot of life left in the market, and especially for a place like us that's still growing. So
yeah, and it never ceases to amaze me that like how much you buy large collections and how much of it will sell right away, because there's always a collector looking for something, and you know especially when you buy the old retro stuff, that people are still buying, right? And you know it's a tough question, but I would say overall, like our store is still doing as good, if not better, than it has been.
Oh, for sure.
So there's no worry about a decline. Our market too, like there's really only maybe 4 stores in our area that sell what we sell. We have the smallest store by square footage.
Yeah.
But the inventory, I'd say like is probably second or third.
I'd say our sales per square foot are like by far the highest.
They're probably the highest for sure. Yes.
Because our spot's so small.
But they're like I'm thinking the other big guys, they've got more inventory than us.
Like our spot is literally the size of the room we're in.
Yeah.
Smaller. It's like it's pretty close.
Yeah, our market share is good. Sales are still good. I don't see a decline. Everything is still selling.
And
you know,
the other thing too is being in Ottawa, like we're a government town. We're also like we've got universities here. Like there's a lot of people that move here and then leave. So I find like you're either getting new people who are coming in and then selling stuff, or people are selling stuff because they're leaving.
Yeah. And
then you'll get like where did the guy who bought the Hankani, like he came from
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, because we get a lot of tourists.
He was in town for the weekend.
Yeah.
He found us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, I'm in Ottawa. Like and then he came and bought like a $1,200 game.
So we get a lot of people who come here for vacation or for work, right? Like, and they're here for a weekend. And if they collect, like we had someone from like, was it Newfoundland or Nova Scotia? He came by and bought a couple of things.
So we any long weekends are always like a little bit exciting because you typically get somebody from out of town.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And they buy something at your store that's been there for a while or something that's very expensive. And like, no, we sold the gold PS3.
Well,
to somebody who lived in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, because you just don't see that.
Yeah, so those are neat sales, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because we have such a niche store that people find us.
Yeah.
And
so
buy stuff and take it home.
I thought that was a really cool question.
Yeah, it was cool. He asked another question.
Yeah, so this one, it's around like, how have you been treated, generally speaking, like as being considered like a reseller? Like I guess because especially on the Reddit game collecting community, if you talk about how you resell stuff, you're like vilified. You should leave all the stuff so that everyone can have it.
It's even though you're willing to work. It's so funny how resell has got this like really negative. I'm like, I don't know. It's not resellers that are negative. Those are negative people anyways selling.
Exactly. Yeah.
They'll be negative no matter what they're selling, no matter what they're doing. And like Joe and I are very positive. We love selling games. We love the community. We're like good to everybody in general. And the people that leave negative comments, they're doing that typically online.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never had someone come up to me personally, and I've never really had anyone like we have people that complain about our prices, but again, it's online.
Well,
like, how could that be that price?
And a lot of that's just ignorance because they don't understand.
Sure. That game you can get it for $20 on the Nintendo Wii shop, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's different.
That's a different thing. I'm like, physical copies of things are, they're more expensive, they're more nostalgic, they're more collectible.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would say like in our area we're viewed pretty favorably. Like no one thinks of us as scummy resellers.
Well, I mentioned this in one of my recent vlogs where like I went to a local show.
Yeah.
That Brandon was putting on, and what's up, Brandon? And like 2 guys that I've known for years sold me games at a discount, knowing I was going to sell them at the store.
Yeah.
Because they were cool with that. I gave them very fair offers, paid as close as I could to what they were asking. I'm not hiding it. I'm not pretending like, I'm like, no, these are for the store, and these are for clients that need them, you know, and there's never any of that. I haven't really experienced that.
No, and if you are a reseller and view the other resellers in your area unfavorably, go build relationships with them, because they're eventually going to get something that you want.
Yeah.
And then you can either trade with them, you could buy it from them. If you have that relationship, you could probably get a better deal on it.
Yeah, like one of the guys I bought stuff from that show, Michael.
Yeah.
Angelo. He he loves his box Super Nintendo items.
Yeah.
So what I do when I get that stuff in, I send him a picture of it right away.
Yeah,
he gets first dibs.
He gets first crack at it, then he usually trades us like good stuff for it.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that, because he trades so much with us and he gives us such good deals. Yeah. That I'm like, I'm gonna scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So it's more the character of the person doing the reselling that really
matters.
And
there's a lot of good
people.
Reselling is such a weird topic too, because if you've sold anything in your life. Yeah. From like a couch or like a mini fridge, like you're a reseller. Yeah. Right? Like you buy something and you use it, or maybe you don't, or you like.
Yeah. I guess it's like I think the mentality that I see on Reddit a lot is, if you're at a thrift store and you see like Rule of Rose for $5 and you already have a copy of Rule of Rose, you should leave it there like for the next collection.
No, you should take it and trade it or sell it.
Fund your hobby so you're not spending your regular paycheck money on that stuff.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like that goes back to the question of like, if you're at a garage sale and someone's selling something. Yeah. And like, if they don't have prices on stuff, then I'm gonna give a good offer, right? Yeah. If there are stickers there, if Rule of Rose, if they're selling it for $5, I'm gonna buy it for $5. Well, yeah, that's what they're selling it at.
Yeah, but you know what I hate though? I hate those YouTube channels where like if someone found Rule of Rose for $5, they'd be like, "Will you take 3?" And I'm just like, like that happens.
That happens. Oh my god. No, the way I look at like anything that's being sold, if someone has a price, and
that's the price,
and you're happy with paying it, then also the person that had the price on it is happy too. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So but anyway.
For sure.
All right. So Frog Trickery asks, how often do you go after some of the higher profile games? So Joe and I don't go after games. No. we wait for games to come to us. Exactly. And we're not saying that arrogantly. It's just like, I'm not online searching for games. It's a time thing. Yeah. So it's like we have to wait for people to come to the store to trade with us, or people to send us pictures, and then when they send them to us, then we send our offer.
Yeah. Well, if we see the odd lot online that's worth going to get, we'll reach out. But leads back to like one of the first questions where they were talking about like the small to mid value games. That's our bread and butter. So we're not actively like, we need to get this high end collection so we can make a couple of bucks a game, and then the game's gonna sit there forever.
No, but like exactly, and like when a high end collection comes in, or a collection comes in,
we didn't go after.
Like we got Bucky O'Hare. Yeah. And like recently, and like that was cool. Like you put that quote together. Yeah. I had no idea that game was on there.
Well, because all the other games were normal, and they just randomly.
And then like Bucky O'Hare, and like it's a desirable game. It's a fun game. Yeah. I checked it out today, by the way. It's actually in very good condition. Oh, okay. Which is good, and whatever this is released, who knows? It may or
do you already have that game?
I do.
Oh, okay, so you're not going to take it for yourself.
I'm not going to take it. No. Do you have that game?
I do somewhere. Of course you do. I remember I paid $15 for my copy.
Oh my god!
But that's what I was going for.
I don't remember what I paid for mine, but I played it and I beat it. Yeah. And it's
me too.
Damn good game. You beat it too?
Yeah.
Good for you.
You're so shocked. It's because it was like unlimited continuous. I died like 200 times and I did beat it.
It's a thing now, right? Like the whole video game thing. No, but it's such a good game, and there's so much variety in it. So, but we got that in recently, you put the quote together for that, and you gave more money for that game. Yeah. Because we want to get that game in. Yeah. Right? And so.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You should say the next one. It's a great name.
The last one is to shut up _England.
Okay. Shut up, England.
So, for the record, we don't hate England, but this guy certainly does. Do you place more value in a customer that genuinely wants to play the game being bought over someone buying to just own it or possibly resell it, or is a sale just a sale? So I'll say from like a money standpoint, like I don't care. If you're a reseller and you come in and you're paying my sticker price, like I can't really argue with you or be bitter. I will say we will limit like quantities of games, because we don't have a huge overstock in our store. Like I know there's one guy who used to come trade with us a lot. He'd trade us kind of like lower end stuff, we'd have to offer very little, but then he'd try and buy like 4 copies of Wii Sports Resort at the same time because he was selling them online for more money. So I just said, like, you know, there's 4 here, you can have 2 of them, because I like, if someone else
wants to keep them for other people, right? Yeah,
they can have it. But otherwise, no. From a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint, like, you want to comment on that? I think that you're like me. Like, I like getting stuff to people that actually want it. Like, it makes me feel better. But
I mean, no, we don't. I don't. Yeah, like I don't care what someone does with the game afterwards if they want to resell it. Like Joe said, like, we're not gonna, like, if someone comes in, it's evident that it's very.
Oh yeah, you can.
I can't really think if they're gonna trade you this and then they're just gonna like
they take like 3 Mario Karts. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, but again, like, you can't really do much about that. Like, we learned early on, and I've shared this in a previous podcast. Very quickly, some dude came in, sold us like 2 Wiis or 3 Wiis, and I gave him a lot of money for them. And then he went inside the store and bought our copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, like, we needed that game. I wanted to actually sell that game for cash. So we've learned over the years how to also give trades, because sometimes, you know, if you gotta be careful how you give your trades. I'll just say.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think a sale it's not even a sale. I like it when I sell something to someone and they're really happy.
Yeah.
And they're either they were looking for it, or it's a kid who's like trying to get an old. We get a lot of kids like 15 and under getting old systems.
Or parents trying to find something for their kid.
Like it's
made their day better.
And we're in the middle of like the Christmas season right now, and like people are coming in with their lists, and like the moms and dads are buying games for their kids, and like they're happy when they can get that game. And you know, at post Christmas, kids are gonna come in with their Christmas cash. I say kids, I mean, like, you know, 35 and under.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like seeing those sales.
Okay, do you want to do this one?
Titty Twistin' Time Wizard asks, I'm after the manual for EVO SNES. Any chance you have one at your store?
Yeah.
No.
So that was funny because that was like the first question I got, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to go well. But then we got some.
The manual for EVO. How much would that manual even go for? Like
probably a couple $100 in good shape. But,
yeah.
No, we've had EVO the cart.
Yes.
A few times, but never like
never the manual.
Never the manual or the box.
Interestingly, side note, rare manuals are super hard to price.
Yes.
Because if you go on Price Chart and you look it up, they sell like twice a year. And then if you look at the box and you're just like, man, like, you have to price those so much lower.
Yeah, and you got to go by condition too.
It's all about condition, totally. Yeah. So yeah, we don't have a copy of that game in stock.
No.
So cool.
No. So that was the closer.
that was like sorry. Titty Twisted Time Wizard. we don't have one, but
he's gonna twist some titties over that one.
Good old time twist. Okay, can't do it.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah, say that 5 times. So thanks to Joe for posting that question on Reddit, and then thank you to everyone for posting your questions. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Titty Twisted Time Wizard.
That can be your beginning thing.
That's right.